Yes, it seems like I have been scammed by Bethesda. And it doesn't look like I'm the only one. Bit of backstory here. So, I pre-ordered the Doom the Dark Ages collector's bundle from the Bethesda International Store. Now, it's expensive. I don't normally buy collector's editions at all because I think they're complete rip-offs, but I love Doom. It's the one series I would do it for. Oh, it's the meme. It's the one series I will do it for because I adore those games and it haven't let me down yet. Even so, it was a gift for my birthday. I paid half and my wonderful girlfriend paid the other half. When I went to check out, it said that shipping to the UK would be £9. So I paid it, thought, all right, got on with my day. Cut to a few days later, and I received an email from UPS.
Oh my goodness!
You what? Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking if you're not from the UK. When you order from another country, it's natural to have duties and customs fees to pay. And yes, it is, that's right. But UK trade law completely specifies that any additional fees for customs, duties, taxes, etc. need to be clearly and plainly displayed before purchase. They need to be available for the customer to see so they can make an informed decision about that purchase. Now, nowhere on the Doom the Dark Ages pre-order page did it mention this. Nowhere at point of checkout did it mention this. It was only after the fact I was hit with these secret fees. So I then found out by going online and having a little check that pretty much everyone else that has pre-ordered from the UK has been hit by these same fees. Everyone is saying the same thing. This was not mentioned anywhere. It's a breach of UK trade regulations, and they should have explained it to us beforehand so we knew what we were getting into by purchasing from Bethesda directly. So I'm pissed, right? I'm pissed. I don't like these extra additional fees. I don't like the fact I wasn't warned about it, and I definitely don't like that they seem to have breached UK trade law. So I contact Bethesda.
Hi, I ordered the Doom the Dark Ages Collector's Edition for £199.99 plus £9 delivery, and I'm now being told I have to pay over £50 of fees to pay for delivery. This is absurd and was never indicated to me at any point in the order process. My order number is blah. Any additional shipping fees should have been indicated before ordering, as I would never have done so. Please respond ASAP as I need an immediate resolution to this issue. Thank you. Andrea responds. Andrea is the person it seems like everyone has been speaking to. Hello, this is the customs import fee due to Brexit. This will take effect from a limit of £135. Our shop IT is currently trying to implement a notice in the shop.
They're working on it. They're working on it. That's right. Brexit was like 5 years ago. Bless them. Those poor IT employees, they're slaving away down in the mines to try and get that little bit of text up on the page. They're almost there. They're almost there, bless them. I think they've almost found the computer. I actually checked the page hours later after the first email I received about them working on it, and it had not been updated at all. The Doom the Dark Ages pre-order page still had no mention of additional duties, customs fees, or taxes that UK customers may be liable to pay. So as I said, that's a clear infringement of UK trade law.
Right, well that's an incredibly easy thing to put on a web page. If your shop IT department can't type that onto the page, then that shouldn't negatively impact customers in this way. Nowhere was this indicated anywhere. The page didn't even specify that it would be shipped from outside of the UK when the option was selected, only that the shipping cost to the UK was £9. Absolutely true. I've since seen many other people expressing the same problem with their pre-orders for this item. I fully expect remuneration for this issue, as it seems to be a breach of the UK Consumer Contracts Regulation 2013. I await your response. The response was simply, hello. This relates to Brexit, and we are shipping from the EU. We are also not happy about the additional cost due to Brexit, but this was not voted by the EU, but by the citizens of the UK. We will not refund the customs duties, only the VAT as required by the EU trade law from £135. So I love the backhanded kind of sassy, like, well, you voted for this, you voted for this. What the hell is that? I respond with, my point is that this should be easily, clearly viewable before purchase, either on the item page or at checkout. UK trade law declares that any international retailer offering goods to UK customers must disclose all costs and charges in a transparent, accessible manner. Not only could I not see these costs disclosed anywhere on the shop, but I still haven't been able to find the information. This is wholly unacceptable. Hello, you are welcome to refuse to accept the order and we will refund the purchase price. As soon as we received and processed the item, you will be refunded the purchase price. So which I then kind of clock on, but the fees are still there. The fees still exist. They're not going to go away because UPS needs to be paid. So I said, as I'll still be liable to paying customs fees that were never disclosed to me in the first place, I'm not really sure how to resolve this. I'll be losing a significant amount of money regardless. The fact that you even mention in your first response that your IT department is, quote unquote, trying to add a notice about this means you acknowledge that one should be there and isn't. That's a clear acknowledgement of wrongdoing on your end. The very fact your response was also, we won't do anything about it, aside from refunding the item itself after I return it, is appalling. So she just says, as stated in the previous email, you can refuse to accept the delivery and receive a full refund of the purchase price. As you refuse to accept the delivery, you will not have to pay any customs or Brexit costs and will not be refunded. That is contradictory, so I said, sorry, this is worded confusingly. Are you saying that if I refuse delivery, I'll receive a full refund and not have to pay any taxes or customs whatsoever? Yes. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking, well, what's the problem? The problem is, UPS, in their terms and conditions, if I turn it away, it will go back to the seller and they can then say, yes, we will accept these fees, or no, push it back to them. On top of that, there'll be extra fees that are accrued as it goes back to them through another set of customs, which they will then have to pay. Now, they're not saying anywhere here either that they're willing to pay those extra customs fees. So for all I know, they could charge me for those extra ones, pay the original ones and go, well, tough luck. And as I say here, hi, well in that case, UPS will need the custom fees paid regardless and then pass them back to you. If you're willing to do that and pay the customs fees after I've returned the item, why can they not just be paid now by yourselves? They're saying they're willing to take a loss, paying customs fees twice, and make no profit if it means I don't get the item I paid for. But if I keep the item I paid for, they're not willing to take a small amount of that profit away to pay the customs fees that I shouldn't have had to pay in the first place. And this is the legendary response. A new guy enters the chat, Florian. Hello. Because this is the only way to deal with Brexit in the EU. Of course, this is not the most ideal solution, but at the moment, we have no other option. Long live Brexit with a smiley winky face. Insane.
Are you f***ing with me right now? This is a multi-million-dollar corporation. This is a Bethesda employee. Why does it feel like I'm talking to an Indian scam call center? So at this point, I've got a few options. One, I accept the package, I pay the customs fees, forget all about it. I'm just down loads of money. Two, I take their advice, I refuse the package, have UPS take it back to Bethesda in Germany, and hope that they will both refund the package and the customs fees. Now, I don't like this idea because it means that I'm putting my faith in, well, not Bethesda, in Florian and Andrea, that they are going to take care of the customs fees. Now, keep in mind here that, as I said, if UPS take it back, the customs fees will need to be paid. UPS's policy is that they will then transfer those fees to the seller. The seller can then say, yeah, we'll pay them, or they can bounce the fees back to the buyer. There is no protection here for me if I do that. I just have to put my faith in them. And they don't seem like people that are very trustworthy, do they?
I'd like to point out Edit Nork here. I couldn't even do this. It was delivered by UPS while I was recording, and they basically chucked it at the door and ran. They didn't even ring the doorbell or knock on the door, so can't really do that, can I?
And finally, I accept the delivery, I pay the customs fees, I then contact Bethesda, and as they offered earlier on, get them to pay back at least the VAT portion of it. Now, that would mean that the majority of these fees are being paid by Bethesda. I'll still be out of pocket. They will still have breached UK trade laws, but at least I've lost the least amount of money possible. What really fucking blew me away about this, as I've mentioned in the emails, is that they are not willing to pay the customs fees at all. There is no scenario where they'll do that. They'll pay the VAT, but not all of it, even if that's only a little bit extra, and a show of goodwill because they've broken UK trade laws. So they're happy to make a loss if it means I don't receive the item I paid for, but they're not happy to lose some of their profits if it means that the customer receives the item they paid for and they settle something where they are clearly in the wrong. Nice one, Bethesda. So yeah. I have eventually... So I have come to a decision. I am going to accept the package. I'm going to pay the fees. I'm going to contact Bethesda and ask them to refund the VAT portion, as they said they would. But I'm not happy about this. I'm still losing money. There were still hidden fees that were not clearly displayed to the customer. It still seems like they are in breach of UK trade regulations. And again, I still have to put my faith in these absolute knuckleheads. Haha, winky face. Haha. That I'm actually gonna walk out of this mostly unscathed. Now, I have no idea what's going to happen to the rest of the people that have been burned by this either. I don't know how many people are just going to accept it and not make a fuss. I don't know how many people are going to fight to the bitter end and get basically fucking nothing. I don't know if I'm going to get basically nothing. And nobody really seems to be talking about this. And Big Corpo always fucking wins, and I'm sick of it. So I literally have no other choice but to make a YouTube video to my 6 subscribers about it. You guys are the OGs, you're the GOATs, okay? There will be an unbiased review on Doom the Dark Ages coming soon, or First Impressions or something like that, so please look forward to that. And hopefully I will have a positive update for you on the Bethesda kerfuffle that we find ourselves in.